Hello, I'm your host, Jonathan Miller, and today I'm joined by Dennis Calveit, CEO of BioLargo, ticker symbol BLGO on the OTCQB. Dennis, so good to see you again. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Jonathan. Great to be here. Great event as usual.
Awesome. And how have things been with the company?
Oh, we're doing great.
I heard
Best time in the history of the company.
I heard you're coming off a record quarter. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the company first, and then we'll dive into the recent quarter yet.
So BioLargo is a solution provider and innovator. We do both. We've been doing that for over 15 years. And so we've got 8 technical platforms, all focused on sustainable solutions to make life better.
All right.
Right? A lot of environmental. We also have a healthcare branch as well, set up to spin out. And it's finally coming on as well. It's finding traction in the market. And so our business thesis is pretty simple. We look at the gaps in the market where there's a need to solve a big problem. We invent it, we prove it up, find first traction, and then we partner it to success. So in the long run, we become like a supply chain partner, partnering with distribution. And it really is a good business model because once you find that spot where the products can take off, the cash flow and the profits are instant. And we're witnessing that now with a couple of breakthrough products that are pretty special.
That's fantastic. Why don't you tell us a little bit about those products and about the recent quarter you had?
Well, so it's averaging about 30% quarter over quarter for almost 2 years.
Wow.
And so we came in at a record quarter, about $3.7 million in revenue for the first quarter. And we had an extraordinary first quarter. So 78% quarter over quarter growth from Q4 to Q1. Huge number. Now, we warn everybody that we know Q2 is going to be a little down, okay? And the reason is because we stocked up inventory for this product called Poof, P-O-O-P-H. Poof.
Yep.
Okay, it's the number one technical performer, soon to be number one in the marketplace, heading into national distribution through Walmart. So it's in 3,000 stores now, rolling out. Chewy has adopted the product, and there's a menu of the leading retailers in the world adopting that product. Launched first through direct to consumer, and that's a full circle story for the company. It's about 8 years in the making, and it is the number one performing product. It's a great value proposition for the consumer and industrial. Anyway, that product is leading the way with revenue. And so we'll see a little bit of dip, and then we're going to see a reload as we stock up for the national retail launch, and it's extraordinary. And what it really witnesses, the testimony of that product is that as it launches, we make money with every sale. And so by partnering, our partner is fronting all that marketing, all that expertise. Yeah, and so that business model is so powerful, and it's one product that's taking the company profitability. Almost profitable in Q1, not quite, non-cash charges, just on the verge of positive cash flow. And so we'll see that number tip up. We're accumulating cash, we're accumulating net shareholder equity, and really well-positioned to consider potential uplisting as the market really figures out the value proposition at BioLargo. And listen, we got 8 technologies, so we got more coming. This is just one. And so it took a long time and a lot of money, but it's an extraordinarily exciting time. When you do a deep dive, people love BioLargo.
Excellent. And how else, aside from obviously making money and good earnings, would you measure your key performance indicators or your successes?
Well, of course, there's a lot of technology going on. So we're deep in PhDs and engineers, right? So the way that works is we're always innovating. And so there's a lot of success that happens before it turns into money. You know, technically successful to create number one products that have a chance to disrupt markets. I mean, that's the whole thesis of the business. So they're all potentially number one in the market. Now you got to get the market.
Yep.
And so the trick is to prove them up, validate them, find that first commercial adoption, and then partner your way to significance. And so we got a number of partnerships that are coming on as well. One of them is Garrett Callahan. That's the largest privately held water company in North America.
Wow.
Yep, we've been with them about 2.5 years. It took a little longer, but we're launching product together, and that's a national sales force company with a 107-year history, the leading company in the space. And they chose us to develop a machine that helps process and recycle water that's used in cooling towers like data centers. Yeah. And so they're after the biggest targets in the world, long in the tooth to get ready. We're finally launching. We've got about 20 prospects. So we'll see that come on. And we also have a PFAS solution, forever chemicals, right?
Very important.
And we got our first customer in the hopper, heading into phase 2. We've set up a national marketing program. We're actually training engineers for continuing education credits as experts in the PFAS space all over the country. Yeah. So we're recognized as an expert, got our first market adoption, now partners, we call them channel partners. We got about 8 channel partners, and we're chipping away at significance, and we haven't seen that significance yet, but it's coming, and we know it's coming because we've got the #1 technical performer in the market, already proven to achieve a non-detect status on the removal of PFAS, that's forever chemicals, stuck in water, stuck in soil, sold for 40 plus years, considered the #1 contaminant of the century.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big deal. And so we've got about 2.5 years of R&D invested, and we're just now coming to market, finally. And of course, our splash is that we can do what other technologies simply can't do. We've got about a 2.5 year head start. So we got a winner in that deal too.
That's fantastic. I remember when we last spoke almost a year ago, it was just moving along. So it's great to hear that you're starting off with a partner. You mentioned that you're constantly innovating. Tell us a little bit how you foster that culture of innovation.
It's fascinating. You know, it takes a certain amount of risk tolerance because innovation is risky.
Absolutely.
And the other thing is it takes determination because for every great innovation, there's 100 hurdles to go through to get over the barrier to entry. And some of those barriers are so significant that people don't realize, like the medical field. Oh my gosh, it's so hard. Now we've gotten through, but we spent $10 million in 10 years to do it. And now we're at that first commercial adoption and partnering stage. So having paid the price of significant investment, we now can see the fruit of that. But 10 years, oh my gosh, who does that? Well, we do. We also have a battery technology, right? And that battery technology, you say, who needs a battery technology? You know, there's the analyst at Morgan Stanley for the energy division says that the battery space is going to exceed the chip industry space within 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's trillions of dollars. So the electrification of the world is real. It's great for the world. It takes time, and battery storage is so critical. And there's a niche gap in the market for long duration energy storage. That's the fixed site for offloading the grid, for storing renewable power. And we believe that we have a solution to fill that void, and it's a significant opportunity. So who does that, right? Well, this is the whole thesis of BioLargo. We focus on the cutting edge, take it through that adoption cycle. And, you know, a lot of people will build a factory and hope they sell batteries. No. We find customers first before we build factories. And so it's a different mindset because we need to cash flow. We need to show the market adoption before we make those risky investments. So our strategy is low risk, high reward, working through the channel to find that adoption, find the partner, and then share, right? You share with your partners so they could profit with you and
Absolutely.
They adopt you faster.
I love that strategy.
I think, you know, it's hard in the early days, but once that strategy takes hold, we're looking pretty smart. And I think right now we're looking pretty smart. And the portfolio is deep in those opportunities. And we paid the price. You know, this is over a 15-year journey, 8 technologies. We got a staff of about 33 people. I don't know. We've got like 8 PhDs and 12, you know, professional engineers of 30 years experience. So we can do all these things because we have the skill, the highly qualified people in the company to do these things. And when they're empowered as entrepreneurs, they're empowered as risk takers, and then we mitigate risk with strategy. And so I think it's just a great moment for people to really look at the company, take a hard look, do a little deeper dive. You'll like BioLargo.
You know, it's like they say smart people and smart companies, they realize that they can't do everything themselves. No, they surround themselves with smarter people that are more capable of doing tasks that they might not be capable of doing themselves.
Well, you know, I often hear, how do you do all this, you know? And the answer is I don't.
Get good people.
Listen, each of these has a CEO, highly qualified in their field, 20, 30 years experience. They're expert in their craft.
Yeah.
And we empower them. So the company really takes on this backer, a cheerleader, a financier, a strategist, and then we empower them to go execute. And then where we have overlap, they support each other. I mean, it's pretty remarkable. And I'll tell you, I know we're on the right track when I go around the company and say, hey, how we doing? And they go, what do you mean? I'm like, how we doing? And you know what they say? It's the best job they've ever had.
That's great.
They love what they do because they know it's high impact, right? People can get fired up about making a difference. And then, of course, ultimately it's got to profit, and we're right there now proving that model too. So it's awesome.
It sounds like you got a lot of great synergy in the company. I love your passion and your enthusiasm for what you guys do. Where can investors find out more about the company?
Well, sure. Go to BioLargo.com, of course. You can email us at info@BioLargo.com, symbols BLGO. Watch it. And again, take a glance, and if you say, I'm not sure it's ready, come back in 3 months. I mean, it is moving so fast. It's a great company to watch and watch the progress. We're presenting here. We presented yesterday at our annual stockholders meeting, and we're showing graphs of 5-year graphs, and it is a steady, steep climb. I mean, it's going up in the right direction. And again, it'll get a little bumpy because we're getting some serious numbers now. Little bumpy, but the trajectory over the course of years is dramatic, and we think we've just scratched the surface. So
we love the story. We look forward to following along,
Awesome.
tracking your success. Company's BioLargo. Dennis Calveit, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, thank you.